Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining in at Straight Grown Talk. I am the Seed Sower of Education, LaKel Farley, and my host today is the one and only
Grady Baby, DJ Grady Baby.
Today's show is going to be special. This show, I have gotten a lot of people talking about, they want to know the ends about child support. So today, guess what? This show is going to be about child support.
Yes.
Well needed topic for our community.
Yeah.
Again, Straight Grown Talk is a show that is for the community to educate them on topics and issues in which you would normally hear in the community. So we are bringing to you live each and every first and third Sunday at 1 p.m. right on Straight Grown Talk.
Yes.
For more information, reach out to our website at straightgt@usa.com or www.straightgrowntalk.com. Shortly, we're going to bring up a very special guest, and she is going to join in on our panel. But before we go, you guys are having the opportunity to be able to call in to us. The telephone number in which you will call in is 470-251-4343. Again, we'll be back momentarily. Stay tuned. Well, we are back. As I told you, we was taking a brief intermission. We are back live with you with Mr. Grady Baby, my co-host.
Yeah.
And I have Miss Lee to the left of me that is going to give some light on child support issues. Again, if you guys have questions, please feel free to chime in and call at 470-251-4343. Again, we are taking questions live to help everyone. We're going to jump right in with some questions. And as soon as she tells about herself and what she does, just a little snippet, not going into full detail, just I want to express and how wonderful parent she is. So I want her to tell a little bit about herself.
Hi, I'm Miss Lee. I am a parent, married with two girls and a boy. I'm a grandmother to 5. Excited about this. This is new for me. Just want to put the word out and just give you a little update on what it is about child support and, the system. A lot of people don't understand. It is hard sometimes, but as a employee for the government for 15 years, just a little knowledgeable. Not much. I won't be able to answer the questions having to do with anything legal, but anything that I do that I can answer the questions to, I will answer to the best of my ability.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. So we're going to jump right in. I want to talk about the websites that you guys can go to.
Yes, there's one website that you can go to, DCSS Georgia Child Support Services. Just go in and register. If you currently have a case, type in your case information, city or state, and also if you need to call in, there's a number, 1-844-692-2347. So make sure you guys do your Google. You can Google research your the laws for your particular state, and also look at child support in whatever state you're in. But DCSS Georgia Child Support Services is mainly in the Google search, and get everything, the Q&As and all that stuff there.
Okay, so we're going to jump right in with the first question. Is can you explain, Ms. Lee, what is the difference between custodial and non-custodial parents?
Okay, the custodial parent would be the parent that has the full custody of the child. Normally, it's the mother. A lot of times, it's a grandparent, it's an auntie. Does not necessarily have to be the mother. I've seen a lot of fathers that are the custodial parent. And the non-custodial parent is the parent that's usually no longer in the home, and that he or she has to pay the child support for the parent that is doing the everyday basic things for the child.
Okay. Now, with saying that, I want to touch bases on legal rights, meaning if, the old saying used to be that mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Mm-hmm. Can we elaborate a little bit more about what I'm trying to say in regards to, does a father automatically, when the child is born, have rights?
No. They do not. There is a process. I know when they're in the hospital, there's a form that you sign, a paternity acknowledgement form. That's just you saying that this child is mine and I want this child to carry my name. That's about all that paperwork does. Put your name on a birth certificate. To legalize yourself to have the same rights as the mother, or vice versa, you need to legitimize yourself. I was told years ago, I think it was maybe $200 or $300, I'm not sure, but I think there's a program for parents that can't afford it through legal aid, but you have to legalize yourself. That's the only way y'all get a 50-50 chance.
But it's kind of hard though. But it's a lot of pressure on men, especially like when you're dating a woman and you're really not sure that the child is yours. And at the time of birth, they looking at you like, hey, you're gonna sign the paperwork, and you don't want to say, I don't know, it's mine, not then, because you're gonna offend the mother. So it's tough, because once you sign that paper, you accept the responsibility of that child. And I can speak from my my position was, the doctor like, hey, you sign your name on the birth certificate, you take care of it. I don't care what the DNA say.
Right. But it doesn't work like that. I mean, really, honestly, truly, you have that right. Don't let your rights be taken away from you. You have that right. If you feel like it's any inkling that this is a possibility, it may not be yours, don't sign any paperwork. Don't sign. Read before you sign.
Okay. Please say that again. Hold up. Stop right there. I definitely want to emphasize on what you just said. Can you please say that last statement?
Don't sign no paperwork. Read before you sign.
Okay.
Please read.
Yes,
read. Reading is fundamental. I promise you it is.
Oh, just going to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, so many times often, not only women, but men are notorious for not reading. They just go into the office and they're pretty much told their situation and just said, sign here, sign here, sign here. They're asking the person that's across from them what are they signing, and they're giving them brief scenarios or synopsis of what they're signing. But again, until you get the opportunity to read, remember they're there all day long.
Yeah.
So why not utilize their time? I know you're saying, I just want to get out of here. I hate this place, and that's great. But however, in the long run, if you don't take the time and read the paperwork, guess what you're doing? You're now setting yourself up for failure, and you're going to regret it, because in that small fine print is always some danger.
Yeah.
So please take the time, read what you're signing. Even when you're in court, read what you're signing before you just sign your life away or take what someone else is telling you to be factual of what you are actually signing.
Yeah, I was going to suggest get you a pro bono lawyer if you can't afford one.
Right.
Take somebody that knows something about the law. Take somebody that knows something about it.
Right. I agree. Or read. Like you say, Google is your friend.
Yeah.
Google.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
I have a question. Many times often we're told that men are stuck with a certain amount. So can you give us a little bit about how it's determined of how much child support the child will receive?
From my understanding, it's 50-50 because they look at income of the mother and the father. It used to be years ago. My daughter's 28. I know back then they didn't really ask me about my income. They asked about his. But as of today, we ask about both parents. We want to make sure that we're not taking away too much from you that you can't live, because if you can't live, then you can't provide. So it's not like we're out to get you. It's a misunderstanding that people think we're out to get you. I promise you, Georgia's about the children. We want to see strong families together. We want you all to come together as a team, because at the end of the day, it's about the child. It's all about the child.
Yeah.
And many times over, when you don't have but one person's income, that is truly affecting the child. Many times, often, I hear friends locally talk about, oh, I'm not with this person, so even though they have a child with them, oh, screw them, they'll be okay, and they go on about their business or start with someone else. But again, you're not hurting the person that you was in a relationship with. You're actually hurting your child, your seed, that person that's supposed to be for the next generation. You're actually hurting them instead. Any comments?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
Do your child support is child support based on, let's say, if the father have the child on his insurance plan? Does that offset someone? Let's say, like, you're paying $400 a month for child support, and the father, the non-custodial parent, pays $200 a month for insurance and other health stuff and activities.
Right.
Does that factor in child support?
It would. When you go to court, these are things that you should bring up. Don't wait until after and remember. You should, when you got a court date, you should be notating the things that you do.
Yes.
You should have a list of things that my child plays this sport, that sport, my child is in this program, we do stuff at the church, this pays. Make sure you got all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed, because again, you stand up there before the judge or either the person, the mediator that's there. Usually it's a mediator, but you stand before them and they're asking you these questions. And if they don't, then you say, hey, I got a list of stuff that I'm doing. So we can take all of that into consideration, because we do a lot. Oftentimes fathers don't say a word and then wait till it's over and say, I got to pay $600, but I'm doing this. Did you say anything is the question. Did you open your mouth? You have to open your mouth.
Now, is it true that if the mother and father's on good terms, they say, like, if I have my son for 2 weeks, she have him for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Do you have to get something in writing to take towards the court? Or get some writing from the mother stating that he's with his father for 2 weeks out of the month?
She has the right to say that 2 weeks out of the month he pays this, and that helps put towards any arrearage or any money that's coming out. So that's why you need to sit down and have this conversation and say, hey, I have him or her this time, you have him this time, let's work together. It's teamwork. I mean, we got to lay everything aside. At the end of the day, again, the top and bottom line is the child.
All right.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Listen.
Now, I have a question. If you become behind, what are some of the things that you can possibly do to bring yourself out of being behind in the rear?
If for whatever reason you fall behind, again, it's just like a bill. How do we know if you don't tell us that you lost your job?
Yes.
They cut your hours.
Yes.
Something happened in the family. You maybe lost a mother, aunt, somebody that was close to you. You had to leave, and in that instance, you lost your job. We don't know that. You have to come to us and tell us if there's any changes, any drastic with your income. This job closed. If it closed, then hey, I got to find another job. I was making $70,000 here. Now I'm only making $20,000.
Okay.
We don't know that. You have to tell us. So any issues or any changes, please don't be afraid, because if we don't know, it still stays the same.
Right.
It
Yeah.
stays
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same.
Yep, it's business as usual. And child support does not stop because you lose your job and anything
That's
else.
it.
So one of the things I do want to talk about next is,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to ask, what if they got locked up? And
Your
does the
child support
system-
still
What?
go on,
Yes.
even incarcerated. We'll
That-
wait to see you when you get out.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Because guess what? Does that baby stop growing?
No.
Does that baby still have to eat? There
Okay.
we go. So we're waiting on you when you come home.
What about, I know you mentioned if they lost a job, do you guys have a certain program?
We do. We have a fatherhood program,
Okay.
and they're looking into trying to change the name because it says fatherhood.
Okay.
And I've met several mothers that are a part of this program. It's a wonderful program. They sit down with you. They try to work out your income with you because sometimes we just need a push. We need somebody that's on the outside looking in that don't know and that can maybe see what we're missing. And then they help you with jobs. And let's just say you had that $70,000 paying job and now you got a $35,000. They go out into the neighborhood and into the areas to find jobs that are compatible, and maybe you can get another $70,000 paying job. It's a wonderful program, and that's just one of them. We also have another program. It's the PAC program, Partnership for Courts, and let me tell you what it is. I want to give it to you correctly. It is Parental Accountability Court Program. Now, usually when you're in this program, the judge is involved. This is different from fatherhood, but they're both trying to do the same thing. Keep you employed, keep you out of jail, and keep the children fed and the things that they need to survive.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, last thing I want to talk about with in regards to that you just spoke of is there's one more thing you can do, which is called a modification.
You can.
So, can you give us a little bit of snippets of about the modification?
Okay, it's called a review and modification. It's done every 36 months, which is every 3 years. Oftentimes people don't know, but again, it's in that paperwork that you get in the beginning. You don't read the paperwork.
Yes,
so
read.
every 3
Read the
years
fundamental.
you have that opportunity. Now, there is some times when it is done before then. If TANF, which is Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or the Parent Caretaker Medicaid, when
Okay.
a parent is receiving that, then we can go back and look at that and say, hey, maybe we need to go back and look and see if we can assist this parent with maybe getting a little bit more money. Now, the understanding with review and modification does not mean that it's going to go up, it's going to go down, or it can remain the same. So don't be afraid to do it. If you were paying $600 for years and now at this time we need to maybe look at more money or less money, then by all means do it. And it takes 6 months to be done. So guess what? It doesn't happen overnight. 6 months, 180 days.
Okay. I have a question. I have a lot of male friends that are raising their kids, and they're not receiving any kind of financial benefits from the mom. And I was like, once you put on child support, man, don't do that. We do this. Look, if it's shoes on the other foot, she'll ask for you. You need help with these kids.
The rules are the same.
Right.
The rules are the
So
same.
what would you say to men who's
Please go out there. It's not like the mother is being mean all the time. It's we were together as one and it was 2 incomes. Now it's 1 income. My child, whether it be male or female, she wants to play the sports and she's good at it. It costs. It's
Yes,
not free.
yes.
So, you may can get a waiver on some things, but you do need to pay for something. So at that point, do I not let my child participate in things because I can't afford it? Is it fair to my child? Because at the end of the day, the child didn't ask to come here.
That's right.
We want the best for the kids. We want to see our kids grow and blossom because guess what? They're our future.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And on top of that, with saying that they are our future, give us a scenario that you've had in regarding this particular situation.
I've had mothers to come in that are on support. Very nice. I try to treat people like I want to be treated. I never forgot where I stood because I used to sit on the other side of that desk. So I'm trying to be informative. I'm trying to give you everything. When I print off paperwork for you to sign and I see you grab a pen and you start to sign, please. Would you read this, and this? Because I need for you to understand what you're signing. Because once you signed it, it goes in your file. We put it in the system. And you can't say you didn't know. Yes, you did. Because I told you when you signed it. Do we sign things that we don't know? We shouldn't.
Yes, and plus you're actually given a copy of what you signed.
You
So
sure
regardless
are.
if you lose it, they keep it. So again, make sure you're reading what you're signed before you actually sign anything.
Okay, I have a question. Well, if you have a case manager that's been unprofessional with you, not my case. What happened with me? My license had got suspended,
Okay.
and I had got stopped by the police. So I went to child support to try to fix the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I took I think $3,000 down there, which was like 4 times the amount of my child support, but she wanted the whole entire arrears, and she wouldn't accept the money. So I took the money, put it back in the bank. So next time I went down there, I had $6,000 to pay for my, to get my license reinstated.
Right.
She didn't accept it. So I called, called some official people,
Right.
and they directed me to file a complaint against my case manager. What's the process? Because I know a lot of men that are going through the same situation dealing with case manager, because the case manager act like it's their case,
Well,
You
that
owe them
brings
money.
me to my next
I'm
question.
sorry.
The question I was going to ask is, if you have professional licenses, how hard is it to get it reconsidered if you're behind in arrears? So basically, explain what he's saying, the steps that you need to take in order to be able to get you back on track from being in the rearage.
Okay, so when you become in the arrears, you usually, and this is what we do, when you fall behind, you get a letter in 30 days. After the 30 days, we don't contact you anymore until the 90th day. At
Okay,
that
so
time,
first we have the first 30-day letter. I want to make sure they heard that.
First.
You get a 30-day letter that's mailed. So don't act like you didn't get nothing in the mail.
I
And
didn't
if
get
you
nothing
got
in
the
the mail.
wrong, incorrect address, that's your fault.
That's
you
it.
need to be
That's
updating
it.
your information
Oh my
on the
goodness.
system.
That's
now,
it.
many times I know you guys
Okay.
do not like updating information because
Yeah.
you don't want the people in your business. But when you're on child support, they're already in your
No,
business.
you cannot get through on the phone line.
here's the thing.
I
We
know.
have a mobile app. And
Okay.
the mobile app is childsupport.georgia.gov.
Okay.
Download the mobile app. We see what you see. You see what we see.
Okay.
It's vice versa. You can see everything, any emails, anything that we've documented in the system. You have those rights to go see. There
Okay.
is some stipulations for that, but we won't go into that because
Okay.
that's legal. But
Okay.
you do have the right. You can say, hey, I'm no longer working. That means whoever your case manager is, we get a prompt. Now we know that Mr. Grady is no longer working. Let's see what we can do to assist Mr. Grady.
Okay.
But if we don't know until 90 days later when we're about to suspend your license, then we are asking for the hold arrears or 3 times your SOA. Now, I can't.
Let's go back into, so you said the first 30 days.
The first 30
Then
days.
What's next? What
And
kind of
then
letter
the
you
90
get?
days,
Okay.
you don't get a letter from us, you get a letter from DDS. That's Driver Services.
Services, yeah.
That's when they're saying, hey, we're suspending your license on this day. You need to go check with child support. And then that's what we're there to see. I hear horror stories about it. I'm in an office where I hear the workers that work in there are very nice, very positive. I don't hear the hoopla that I've heard the horror stories about because I have heard them. And again, like I said, if I was to ever hear it, I probably would say, you know what? Come on now. We don't know their situation because again, I sit on that other side of that desk. So
Right.
I don't want to be mean to anybody. And then I don't know your story. So I want you to be very polite to me. I'm going to be polite to you and we're going to leave here.
Okay, so what are the 4 steps to get your professional license back?
Okay, so when you come in, if you are about to get your license suspended or if they're already suspended, they're going to tell you over the phone when you call what you need to pay. So 9 times out of 10, it's very far few and in between that the non-custodial parent don't know what they have to pay. We've already told you over the phone. There's a call center that's going to give you that. First and foremost, we're going to say, let's just say your arrears is $10,000. We want the $10,000. Your second one is 20% of your arrears and what your SOA. And a SOA is what you pay every month as child support. So what your child support is, or 3 times your child support. And last and not least, if you have not been in the fatherhood program, then we'll offer the fatherhood program to you. If you join the fatherhood program, then oftentimes you don't have to pay a dime.
Okay.
You joined the program, but guess
great.
what? You can have not been in that program in the last 90 days to 6 months and did not follow through. You have to,
You have
follow,
to follow
through.
through and be consistent too.
Please, because it helps. It does. It really does.
Yeah. Have a question. If you have a court-ordered case, right, you get hurt and get on disability, are you still responsible for the arrears, or how does that work?
The arrearage could be state or the custodial parent. So it's at the custodial parent's discretion to say, I no longer want the money that is said to owe to me. She or he has that right to cancel that. But any state arrearage, that's the government. They want their money. You have to pay
You
that.
know how
You
they
have
do.
to pay
Yes.
that. But then they work something out with you.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not like we trying to take everything, because if
Okay.
you get hurt and you're getting Social Security, 9 times out of 10, if you have a minor child, they're going to receive a check as well.
Right.
So that counts towards your child support.
Right.
Now, can I give you an example of that? Let's just say that child gets $150, but your child support is $200. That balance, you still owe.
Oh, it goes to the arrears.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So your child support doesn't cut. They're
Okay.
getting this. We still want those $50 from you.
Oh wow. Wow.
So just FYI, make sure you're paying what is owed and any fees that go along
wow.
with that.
explain to us a little bit about gift and child support.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of people are under the impression that because I went and bought a new pair of shoes or a new outfit, or I paid for a ball or something that they needed for some type of sport or a bag, that this goes towards my child support. No, that's a gift.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
I heard
That's
that
a
before.
gift. When you're dealing with child support and we're the middle person, anything that is given needs to come through us. Anything that you do and give to them, it's a gift.
Okay, can I ask a question? I was told that if you write child support on the back of the receipt, that's good.
It would depend on the discretion of the attorney that's sitting there and the judge that you sit before.
Okay. Okay.
That's right.
Because that happened to me. I went in there. I had been taking care of the child for 2 years. The mother all of a sudden decided to put me on child support. So I said, well, I have all these receipts in the shoebox. The judge, I went to Your Honor, I have been taking care of my child. I've been spending $400 every week on this child. Here's the receipts. He looked at the box, went through there. He said, son, this is a mighty fine job you did, son, but those are just gifts. I was like, what? I was like, my goodness.
And many times, often, the non-custodial parent gives money to the mother, thinking in essence that they're going to do the right thing, because we do know sometimes that the custodial parent does tell lies on the non-custodial parent and say he didn't pay a dime, and they're giving money, cash money.
Yeah.
Is it correct for the non-custodial parent to give cash money to the custodial parent?
When child support is involved, we tell you all the time, and it's written, do not give money if we are your middle person, because giving the money, it will only be seen as a gift.
Okay.
You need to do a money order, come in and pay the money. We don't hold on to that money.
Okay.
Any money that is given, we make sure the custodial parent gets, because we know it's for the child.
Okay. Question. If the custodial parent, if the non-custodial notice that the custodial parent is not doing right with the money, let's say they turning up with the money, buying the stuff, what do we do? How can do we file a complaint or something?
I mean, what complaint would you be filing? Because most of the time, and this is not law, this is me. This is Ms. Lee speaking this. How do you assume that the money you're giving is what she's using for that? Especially if she works. If she's working, could that not be her money?
I mean, she's not working. You gotta turn. I gotta get the nails and hair done. That's $200 and $300.
But she works.
But
Just like she just said.
But the child looking at you like, Dad, I didn't get nothing. I'm like, hey, I send your mom money. Or you got to talk with her.
Well, the way the courts actually look at it is that if you're sending child support is not a specified realm. You can use child support for its rent,
Okay.
gas in the car, going to and fro with the child activities, all of those things. Those can be used with your money of child support. It's not limited. It can even be used to pay a gas, a light bill, because it's for the child.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to specify that if I see you with you going to the club and turn it up. Yes, that would be wrong. However, again, just like she said, if she's working, how can you differentiate between the two? That what she's actually allocating the money to.
When she called and
do I
asked me,
really
say she
think they
need
need to
this for
revamp
this.
that?
When she called and said, your baby needs some more shoes. Your baby need this.
But we know children grow every day.
That's right.
So you bought those shoose 2 months ago. At this point, that baby needs a new pair of shoes. Come on now, let's be real.
Okay. I'm behaving myself today.
Please do, please. But realistically, yes,
Yeah.
kids do grow very fast,
They do.
and we do understand all those wonderful things that you have to do for your kids, just like you said about being in sports and everything else. But you know, child support is, like she said, for the kid. It's not for us, because I never forget. I was going through my divorce, and one of the things I said, "Oh, I don't want the support. I don't want all of that." Blah 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 blah. And needless to say, the judge just said, "It's not for you. It's for the child." And I don't care what you say. I said, "But can't we negotiate? Can we negotiate, because this is not right." So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to, start any conflict between him and I.
Right.
I just wanted it to be, you do what you need to do. I'm going to do what I need to do, and we're going to meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Now I thank God that there was child support in place, because needless to say, there were times that I did need help, because during the recession I lost my job, and even in 2008, my house burned down. So I was very grateful that I did have that coming in. And even though he was behind, I think that was one of the reasons why the courts allowed him to come in and had to purge himself to be able to, in the need of the situation.
Right.
My home had just burned, and we were in need of the necessities of life, which is what child support is for.
Right.
So again, understand, even though you're paying child support, many fathers don't like that we benefit from it. We're going to benefit regardless. I mean, I always tell men and women too, because I do have some friends that do pay, that when the non-custodial parent pays support, you're going to benefit from it anyway, because it is for the child, but you are with the child 90% of the time. So
Spend time. Stay in touch with child support. Don't do like I did. I lost my good paying job and called myself and said, well, I'm going to get me a job working at, I guess I can say now I was working at Publix, studying, working to be a master baker. And child support hit my check, and I was bringing home $1. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? I couldn't live off no dollar, so I had to go find me a new job.
Right.
Because a lot of times, because the way child support is based off, when you first get in the system, they base it off the maximum income that you make, right?
Right. But
And
then
so,
when you lost your job,
I
did
never
you
reported
let
that.
us? Right.
No, I didn't.
And that's a circumstance
Yeah.
where we will look at to do a review and modification,
Yeah.
because at this point, you can't afford that.
No.
You can't pay that. So we want to make sure you don't be homeless.
Yeah.
You need to live, because when you need to babysit, where the baby going?
that's right.
True.
That's right. That's right. And you
Fellas?
have a way to go.
Now, can I ask you this now before we let's say like the fellas who's getting ready to have their girls getting ready to have birthday their baby. This may be for you. Now, should the father go down there and put themselves on child support before the mother get out of the hospital?
Here's the thing. I mean, again, this is me.
Okay.
This is me talking. I just feel like everybody should come to some understanding. You have 9 months. She's pregnant 9 months for us to talk about
I
this.
understand. And there's no understanding when somebody's upset, especially a mother. So you're not doing stuff to make her happy. She's gonna put you on child support while you sleep.
And then a lot of times it's not them. The women get the brunt of it all the time.
How?
If she went and got Medicaid for
True.
herself and the
True.
kids,
Yeah.
child support automatically steps in. If she's lost her job or not getting a lot of money, and she decides to go through the TANF program to
Yeah.
get a check, they automatically step in. So oftentimes it's not her being mad at you. She's going
it's
to
the
apply for
situation.
services,
Yeah.
so
Right.
she needs it.
Yeah, 'cause
so that's where you step in.
True.
And you say, hey, they giving you how much? How about we talk about this? They giving you $200. How about I give you $300? If you choose not to go with this, I will sign, and then y'all make some arrangements.
Yeah.
Y'all talk about it.
Yeah.
It's the talking.
And
Now I
think,
have a question for you. When the mother goes and get put on assistance, can you clarify a little bit about, does the father have to repay those monies back?
Any money that is paid out, the state does want their money back because, again, Georgia's a child state. We want to make sure the children have. This has nothing to do with the children. This has to do with adults. So when you have adults that are able-bodied and can go out and be employed and they choose to stay on this system doesn't work for the non-custodial parent. They need to be trying to help too. So, like I said, let's talk about it. And then it's who you pick to lay down with.
Yes,
hey, like that old song said,
I'm
let's
sorry.
straighten it out.
Right.
Y'all better sit yourself down and talk. Y'all better talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it. Yes.
Because it is the thing with, especially when the mother gives birth to a child, you got all those monthly shots that baby have to have and stuff like that. So that's the costly part. So that's what makes the mother go down to DSS to get the Medicaid and stuff
But
like
she
that.
can get Medicaid
Right
for
in
the
the hospital.
kids.
Yeah, but if the father have a job with insurance, he should put the child on insurance so she don't have to go to Medicaid.
But have you seen the cost of insurance?
Yes.
But there are some
It's
companies.
expensive. They can have both though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They can have both. You can have Medicaid and a private insurance. They just offset each other.
Yeah. What about like the insurance through the job?
If you have insurance through your job, they offset each other.
Okay.
The Medicaid that the parent gets is the issue. It's not the child, because again, Georgia wants to cover the children.
Right.
So you get Medicaid for your child, that's nothing that you have to get back.
That's
Okay.
good. That's
Yeah.
good to know. That's good to know.
Okay.
That's good. Only when it comes to you.
To the adult.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Make perfectly sense.
Yeah, it does.
My next question to you is, a lot of women tend to threat the guy and say, "I'm going to take you back to court for child support. I want to increase. I see you balling out of control. You're living a lavish life. Me and your kids is struggling over here because you're only paying, let's say, $300-400. I'm going to take you back to court." What is standard that says how often a man or woman can go back to court for an increase in child support?
Rev Mod is every 3 years.
Okay.
Every
Wow.
3 years, every 36 months. Now, if they want to go and do it privately, that's at their discretion. They will have to pay that out of pocket. We won't have anything to do with the private. We only deal with when you come through us through the system through child support. No, they do that all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's every 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. From my personal experience, I had a court case. Well, I guess I call it a roundup because they had all the fathers at this courthouse, and they said, "Okay, all the fathers who have checks to pay their child support, stand to the left. All the fathers who don't have any money, stand to the right." So they took all the fathers who didn't have money to pay. They let them give their name, and they left. And we stayed there from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Why the fathers who didn't have the money, why couldn't they stay?
Not sure. You would have to ask the people in the court. Like I said,
I
I'm not
just feel that the
familiar with
system is
that.
not
I would
fair
have
to us brothers.
asked.
It's not
I
fair.
would have asked. I would have asked those questions.
But since you said the system is not fair to the brothers, give your personal opinion in regards to that. Why you say the system is not fair?
Well, for one, I just stated that getting at the courthouse 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, the fathers who didn't pay, they left. I should have gotten in line with the fathers who didn't have the money and just mailed my check in. It's not fair, like when you try to speak up on your behalf or try to call me. I love my new case manager now, so she's good. But my old case manager, she just never hear me out. Then she'll put you on hold and then disconnect the line. Then you have to call back, go through the whole animation part, the system again. It's just, it's frustrating. And then earlier in my case, I had description. Well, you know how that spade game. I have a kid in the possible, so I was talking like the possible, but I had to raise him like he's mine. So he's 20 now. But the judge said if I wanted to dispute it, I have to go find me an attorney and get another case, and that was like other thousands more dollars I would have to spend to get a judge and pay for court for the court.
You meant you have to spend to get an attorney, not a judge.
Attorney.
Because
Well,
I promise there's
the
no
court fees.
judge
I'm sorry,
gonna
the
be
court fees.
$1,000
Yeah.
upfront.
No, the attorney fees and court fees, I had to be responsible for those
Right,
if I
right,
wanted to
right.
dispute it. And it's not fair. I had to get this and still continue to pay child support. That's not fair.
Here's
It's a
the
no-win
thing.
situation.
When it goes into play, you have 30 days to dispute anything that we send you. If you started this case out and they said your child support is $600, here is what it is.
Okay.
All right. You got 30 days. That's in that paperwork. So when you were just saying, no, I'm not in agreement, then you should have been on it. Because if you did it within those 30 days and asked for an administrative hearing, then you go before the judge and you have that right to say, this is the reason, this is why I don't think, and bring all proof, because that's what they asking. It's proof in the pudding. Bring your paperwork with you. That's why you need to make sure you keep your paperwork.
Yes, always keep your paperwork.
Another question before this go through. What about visitation? Do we have to go to get another court case just to get visitation? Or can we
Here's
get
the
all that in one
thing.
case?
Again, I'm not an attorney.
Okay.
But if you read the paperwork, remember, you signing paternity of acknowledgement only says that my child is going to have my last name. That's it. Once you legalize yourself,
Which is
then
what? Which is what? You have to
that's
do what?
That's
Read.
you going to the courts, you paying that fee, and
And
it's a $200 fee, and letting them know you before the judge saying, this is my child, I'm taking 50% full custody, this is what I do. Then and only then do you have those rights.
And that right is through legitimation.
You have to
Legitimation?
legitimize yourself.
Oh man! So fellas, you heard that you have 60 days, right, to review that. So look at the baby
30.
elbows,
30. She
cheekbones.
said 30 days.
30 days.
30 days. So make sure y'all get a good look at that baby before y'all sign that paper. Now make sure the elbows just right, look like yours.
You
and
have a
everything.
whole year to sign the birth certificate without any fee.
Okay.
They only charge you after the child turns 12 months.
Oh,
so
okay.
you got a whole 12 months before you sign that birth certificate if you're undecided.
Didn't know that. They put so much pressure on you at the birth of the baby. Come sign this paper.
I say, no, I'm not. And what am I signing?
And if you live with a woman, you can't go home. And if you don't sign that birth certificate,
Yeah, but see, again, you have to talk about that before the baby comes. You can't wait till the
Have
baby
these
comes like,
conversations. Okay. So are we not talking?
right. Y'all not
No.
communicating during the process? Are y'all just saying, ooh, we're going to wait and see?
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
comes around and says, woo, okay.
she was waiting to sign that birth certificate just like being at Vegas. And you put your last $2 on the dice and you just wait on it. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, we
Oh,
don't have that conversation. We just be hoping and praying. Yeah, it's a lot of hope and pray going on with fathers and dealing with newborn babies and
There
stuff.
you go.
You know, after watching Jerry Springer, you know, you are not the father. You see
There
the
you
13th
go.
episode, like, maybe I'm not the father, you know?
I'm talking about Maury Povich.
Yeah.
Hey, we see it all the time. So please, just take your time. It's not a rush. The child's here now.
Yeah.
We should be having these conversations before we even get to the child.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. And the most important thing with children is time. The time that you spend with them. It's not how much you spend on them, it's the time you spend with them. You
And
know?
oftentimes that is what it is. It's not about a lot of times the parent, the non-custodial and the custodial don't understand. It's not even about the money.
Correct.
It's about sometimes I'm
Quality
tired.
time.
I'm tired. Can you
right.
pick them up today
Correct,
for the
correct.
weekend
Yes.
or a week or two and take them to school and bring just to give me a break?
Yeah.
Yes, and I can truthfully say that when, like I said, when I was going through my situation, I just wanted help with time because I felt like you can become so involved with everyday life that the weight of parenting just wears down on you. And if you don't have a support team, I mean, unfortunately, my mother passed away. That was my whole support team. And when you don't have a support team in place to help, it really makes a difference. I mean,
Yes.
I see women that, you know, have even called me and it's like, I can't do this. How do you do it? How do you keep pushing through? And they want to give up because they need help from the dad or the mom, because moms do it as well.
Yeah.
I've seen some have a baby, push it out, dad take care of it. They have nothing to do with this child. I'm like, how can you carry something for 9 months and push it out and give it up and don't have no connection. But I get it. Everybody's not meant to be a parent,
Yeah.
and everybody's not meant to be a mother. They only are good at what they can do at the moment. So
Yeah.
I always tell people, especially the non-custodian, call that parent up sometime and see, can I come by and take the kids this weekend to kind of help out? Give you that break so you can rejuvenate yourself.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you for saying that, because I was going to say something about that. By me being a military spouse, thanks to my wife and my in-laws, when my wife was deployed for a whole year, so I had both the kids, raising them. I had to do Afro puffs. I had a certain dish, but my wife, she was gone for a year. And it was hard. I also thankful for my in-laws coming by giving me a break, because those couple of hours help.
It does.
So fellas,
It does.
please, being a military spouse, being a male, because I got so much flack for being. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I understand what mothers go through, and I really respect mothers now, for dealing with the kids, because father get the baby, they going about their business, they living a whole new life. So that's what makes the mother mad. He over there living his life, and I'm over here struggling with the kids, trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay the light and gas bill and this and that, and groceries. So yeah, especially if one have more than one kid, you may have one there, maybe 3 other kids there.
Right.
But if one suffer, they all suffer.
That's true.
All right, so
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Any important details you would like to give our audience today?
Reading is fundamental. I'm serious. Sit down, talk to the other parent, try to come to some type of compromise. Understand. I just really, really did not understand until I got in there. I knew it from the beginning though, because as a parent and have went through that knowledge is power. It's all about the child. It's not about how I feel about you, how you feel about me. Because in the beginning, we felt some type of way about each other. So at the end of the day, if we can just all get together and make stronger families, it takes a team, not
Yes.
just a you and a he. There's a we, and there's no I. So
Right.
if we can just come together and put how we feel about each other to the side and just make sure we can provide for the kids, would be so much better. So much better.
Yes.
Yes.
And can you again give those sites that you gave earlier in regards to where they can find the information in which you was just discussing? And then Grady, I also would love for you to give the number again, because the topic that we're talking about, I have been all week long for weeks in regards to this particular topic, which is child support. Men especially have been blowing up my inbox wanting to know information about this particular show and what they can do and what they cannot do and how to go about doing it. A lot of information that we've shared today is geared toward both custodial and non-custodial parents, but emphasize on what you have the ability to do and the services that you have in your hand, that all it takes is a phone call. So can you share that information with us?
The website again is childsupport.georgia.gov, and on that you can download the mobile app. Oftentimes you can go and you can take the suspension off your own license with an override. There's a form there. It'll ask you some questions. New job, you fell behind, you want to join the fatherhood program. And once you sign those, there's automatically an override put on there and you have your license back immediately. So you don't necessarily have to come into the office and deal with us face to face. So you can also go on there. You can ask for a review and modification. The mother can say, hey, I want you to look at something else. There's so many things. You can join the fatherhood program on there. They even have a Facebook Live that they're doing at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, December the 18th, to ask questions about the fatherhood program, to give you some insight on what they do. Because we all go around to the different cities in the state of Georgia, and we did one maybe a few months ago in Gwinnett, and a lot of people didn't show up. So my question was, did you get it out there enough? Because we need fathers and mothers to know. And this wasn't just a fatherhood program for people that were on child support. These were for families.
Oh, wow.
We want the families to come together so we can show you how, and maybe talk about what can we do to get us back on the right track where we know it's a village to raise a family.
Correct. And Grady, can you please give us that number?
Yes, the phone number is 1-844-694-2347.
Can you repeat that again?
1-844-694-2347.
Okay. and that is the number that you can call to get more information. We also told you that we would not be answering any legal questions. If you have any legal questions in regards to rearage, etc., please contact your local attorney. You can go and Google an attorney in child support, and they'll be more than happy to assist you. As Miss Lee discussed earlier, you also can call legal aid. You have to qualify for their program. You can also call Fatherhood. There are a lot of different programs out here for you guys to be able to assist you with this matter. Do not wait till the last moment before you do anything, because then it is too late. So you don't want to end up in a situation where you're not able to have a voice, an opinion. You want to be able to talk to someone and be heard. So please take what we've discussed with you today to heart. Find information, press replay, share it, tell your friends about what you have just learned. We would love, and we are going to have a part 2 to this after the first of the year, because as you know, we're getting ready to celebrate the holidays. But again, if you're behind, because soon, in the state of Georgia, right about Christmas time, we're going to be talking about fathers that might go to jail, and the only way you can get out during the Christmas holidays is you have to pay something. So again, take this advice that we're giving you today, use it to your advantage. Thank you for joining us on Straight Grown Talk. We look forward in seeing everybody again. It was a pleasure having you as my co-host today, and thank you, Ms. Lee, for joining me.
You're welcome.
And it has been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys again on every first and third Sunday of the month. The next show that's coming up is going to be called Year End Business Talk. See you soon. Bye.
All right, have a good one.